Welcome everyone to today's tutorial on bounding boxes. What are we talking about when we reference bounding boxes? Well, in the game mechanics, if I click on the Breda, we notice that the green bounding box appears around the outside. Now what that means is that when a bounding box or a group is moving, it has to move within the realms of what that size of bounding box is. So if I wanted to move this group of Breda over to, say, a position over here, it's not going to move all the way through these other items. It is going to move around them. Why? Because each one of these items has a bounding box. So if you click on the Lancia here, you can see that because the Breda's bounding box, green bounding box, is larger, it's not going to be able to sneak through that little gap there, and it's not going to be able to come through here because these two bounding boxes, if I could display them, would be blocking its way. So what it's going to do is it's going to move down, around, and use this path to get to the location. So let's prove it. We've selected our Breda. We've now gone over to a position here and we're saying let's move. So the bounding box goes, can't go that way, moves around the size of the other bounding boxes and moves itself into position. Where they stop. Now, the other thing to realize and understand with the actual green bounding box or boundary box, whatever you'd like to term it, is that if you only wanted to move, say for example, I wanted to move to just this position here, well, it's moving the whole bounding box based on the center position. So in other words, if I move to this position here, it's not moving these front items just to there, it's moving from the center to this position. So to show you that, I'll click on the new position and the center Breda should come up basically to that position that I had clicked. So if you're close to an enemy's base and you're only wanting to move just a little bit closer, then rather than moving, say for example, just a little bit to here, you're far better off looking at the distance you want to move, halving that distance and move it sideways. So if I only want to move just a fraction further forward, in this case here, I'll click on that and the center bounding box has moved it forward, but not the full amount, as you can see. Now the reason for the demonstration on the bounding boxes is so that, yes, if you're positioning your troops outside of a base for a siege or anything like that, keep that bounding box, green bounding box, in the back of your mind when you're moving your troops forward into position. And if you are positioning your troops outside an ally's base, also try and keep them around evenly spread, because the problem I have here is that these 19 Lancia, they have no ability to get out of the spot that they're in. They're locked. In other words, this bounding box and this bounding box and the bounding box that would be for this turret are such that I cannot get out of here, as you'll see. Won't move. It's blocked. So it's blocked by the bounding box for the guns, the bounding box for Nardi's 19 Pulu, and that means that if these guys are offline at the time, I've got 19 Lancia that I cannot use. So always keep that in mind if you're going to park your troops at an Allies base. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Any questions? Let us know.